Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's good to be here at the Betsuin this morning. For the past 18 months, our Dharma school teachers, along with the Northern District Dharma school teachers, have been working on the Federation Dharma School Teachers Conference that we are hosting this past weekend. And with about 130 delegates from all over BCA and Hawaii, we are having the closing service at the Hilton Garden Inn this morning. So as you can see, Team Betsuin, or at least most of them, are at the hotel. But I'm happy to be here today with all of you.
Me too.
Oh yeah, RB. A few years ago, at the National Buddhist Women's Association, or BWA, conference, the Federation BWA urged every temple to try to observe a service or an event for Rennyo Shonin. Our BWA requested that we have a special service to highlight Rennyo Shonin. So today, I will try to honor this request with this Dharma school message. So let me first begin by explaining that the small altar on the left side of the main altar is dedicated to Rennyo Shonin. The reason that Rennyo is so honored is because when he took over the leadership of the Jodo Shinshu about 560 years ago, it was during a very difficult time. The established Buddhist temples were on the verge of eliminating the Jodo Shinshu school of Buddhism. But Rennyo took over, and he laid the foundation for Jodo Shinshu to become the largest school of Buddhism. For this reason, Rennyo has been called the Great Restorer. Rennyo Shonin was born in 1414, 602 years ago in Japan, and he would become the 8th Monshu, or head priest of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. He was a direct descendant of Shinran. He was the great grandson of Shinran Shonin. When he was 17 years old, he received Tokudo ordination and was given the name Rennyo in memory of his mother's wish for him to bloom like the lotus blossom, for Ren means lotus. Rennyo studied the Dharma with his father Zonyo, and he vowed to share Shinran Shonin's understanding of Buddhism throughout the country. When Rennyo was 28 years old, he married a young woman named Nyoryo Ni. Together they had 7 children, 4 boys and 3 girls. But after giving birth to her 7th child, Rennyo's wife passed away. Rennyo was 41 years old at that time. Soon after, Rennyo married Nyoryo's younger sister, and together they had 3 boys and 7 girls. And after the birth of their last child, or their last daughter, just like her older sister, she passed away too. So in his lifetime, Rennyo Shonin had 5 wives and 27 children, 14 girls and 13 boys. And when Rennyo was 84 years old, he and his 5th wife had their last child. Yeah. In 1457, Rennyo Shonin's father, Zonyo, passed away, and Rennyo became our 8th Monshu at the age of 43. Rennyo clearly had organizational skills. His desire to teach the Dharma was matched by his ability to share the Dharma in such a clear and simple way. Rennyo possessed the passion to propagate the Dharma, and throughout his life he provided leadership that was able to adapt and act in accord with the circumstances of that tumultuous time in Japanese history. As the 8th Monshu, he began to change the existing practices that were strongly influenced by the elite traditions in Japan. And for example, he felt that the altar area in the temples were elevated too high, which meant that the messages were being delivered looking down at people. The temple hondo areas were very different. The altar, or the onaijin area, was very large, for the temples were mostly for the monks. The seating area was very small. Jodo Shinshu was Buddhism for everyone, and so the altar areas became smaller, and the seating areas much larger, as we have today. Rennyo also believed in having down-to-earth conversations with those who gathered to hear the Dharma. That is why Jodo Shinshu talks are called Howa, which means Dharma talk or Dharma conversations. Rennyo spread the teaching in the spirit of what Shinran called Ondobo Ondogyo, meaning that we are all fellow travelers, fellow practitioners on the Nembutsu Dharma path. Rennyo did his best to share the Dharma in a way that was understandable to everyone, and he tried to avoid technical terms. He emphasized and always referred to Shinran's teachings and interpreted these teachings by utilizing simple terms and easy, understandable expressions. In this way, he was able to reach out and touch the hearts of those who may have otherwise not have had access to the Dharma. As mentioned earlier, Rennyo had a remarkable organizational skill. Without concern for social status, Rennyo was able to identify and nurture the many talents and gifts of people that surrounded him. And in this way, the Nembutsu followers were able to help share and communicate the Dharma, reaching out to others, especially during times of loss and hardship. With his keen political insight, he was able to provide leadership, develop many leaders within the Monto or within the Temple Sangha, which helped to maintain stability during times of political and social unrest. But Rennyo is probably most well known for his writings, his letters called Gobunsho, which often were distributed and read to members who gathered to listen to the Dharma. Rennyo knew well the nature of loss. In his lifetime, he endured a lonely childhood following the separation from his birth mother. And as an adult, he knew the deep loss of 4 of his wives, 6 of his daughters, and a son. It is said that once he visited a village and he met a couple and daughter. The couple was very happy as their beautiful daughter was going to be married to a wonderful man. He felt very happy and so fortunate. But months later, Rennyo returned to this village and ran into the same couple. And he asked the couple how was their daughter and the new husband. The couple said that just days before she was to marry, she suddenly just collapsed and died. They were still in shock, and her husband-to-be was also inconsolable. The couple asked Rennyo, "Why did she have to die? Why did our beautiful young daughter have to die? She was so healthy and well. She was smiling radiantly from the moment she woke up that morning, and then she was gone. The pain in our hearts are unbearable. Why, Rennyo-sama? Why?" Rennyo contemplated the endless deep grief of the devoted couple that he had come to know so well. When he heard of their daughter's tragic loss, he could only hold them and cry with them. Rennyo had known many deep losses in life, and he knew that there were times when no words would do. He knew that there were times that we can only share with our tears. His writings shared his passion of knowing well both the true nature of life and love and the inevitable sadness of knowing loss. Rennyo knew deeply the pain of this family. Why did their daughter have to die when her life was just beginning? Why? In his writings, especially his letter on white ashes, Rennyo expressed beautifully and clearly the true nature of love and life, and that sadness of having to know loss. Rennyo's letter on white ashes has become a traditional reading whenever Jodo Shinshu families gather in times of loss. On white ashes so simply captures the Buddhist understanding of life and death that there is very little more that needs to be said. Rennyo's Gobunsho continues to play an important part in bringing people together to hear the true teachings of Jodo Shinshu. Because people could understand him and the Nembutsu teaching, Jodo Shinshu grew and eventually became the largest sect of Buddhism in Japan. And as I mentioned before, this is why Rennyo is also referred to as the restorer of Jodo Shinshu, or the second founder of Jodo Shinshu, and why his portrait is on the center, or is on the left of our center altar. By sharing Jodo Shinshu with all people, we are reminded that we are all fellow travelers in life, facing similar challenges, dilemmas, ups and downs in life. And because we are equal to each other in this sense, Buddhist teachings can resonate with all of us, regardless of our individual differences. In remembering Rennyo Shonin, let us try to view each other as fellow travelers in life. And maybe we can try to live as Rennyo lived, respecting each other, living with more patience and understanding for each other, and helping each other through our journeys in life, sharing the Buddhist teachings with each other. So thank you for coming to this morning's service. In closing, Reverend Bob and I, and Matt, would like to perform a special composition about Rennyo Shonin.
I told Patti we have to do this because this talk is so dry.
I'm trying to share the life of Rennyo Shonin.
It's so historical only. I said, oh, come on, we got to liven this up. You got to get this, Alan.
So back in 1998, Nishi Honganji had a special 500-year memorial service for Rennyo Shonin. And many of our BWA members attended this event in Kyoto, Japan, in conjunction with the World BWA Conference. In a celebration of this special event, Honganji had a contest for the best song about Rennyo Shonin. We're not going to sing, don't worry. The winning song would be recorded by the famous singer Itsuki Hiroshi. So you have to remember, this was about 18 or 19 years ago. So our own, very own Thomas Okamoto and Reverend Bob wrote and submitted a song to this contest. But unfortunately, it was somehow overlooked. And although they sent it express mail, they never were ever sent an acknowledgement that the song had been received in Kyoto. Perhaps it was ahead of their time, but today it might be considered old school. But we'd like to perform this creation for you in closing this special service for Rennyo today. It's called Rennyo Rap.
We rapping about Rennyo, a very famous man, the eldest son of Zonyo, spread Nembutsu in Japan.
Born in 1414, died 500 years ago. He did much to spread the deed
To
to
go
go
Boon Show. Some say he was a player, some say he was a man, but he did what he had to do,
Cause Rennyo had a plan. He said it plain and simple, he said it true and clear. Namo Amida Butsu
is all you have to hear. Say it once or say it twice, it matters not at all. Just listen with your kokoro,
Cause it's the name that calls. Namo Amida Butsu, the people gather round. They would come to hear him, cause Rennyo was the bomb.
In 1457, when he was 43, he became the 8th Monchu of Honganji.
Just rapping Bob Rennyo, that very famous man, the eldest son of Zonyo,
Spreading Nembutsu in Japan. Oh, if I had a mic, I'd drop it. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
I don't know why they didn't like it. But thank you for coming today, and I hope BWA approves of our service for Rennyo Shonin. I'm sure this will be unforgettable. Thank you.